Welcome to Dancing Hands Fun Facts. Have you ever wondered why some book covers grab your attention immediately and make you want to read them more than others? Or why some books captivate you while some others don't draw you in so much? Well, today I hope to give you a few tools to help you understand how books are written and illustrated. And since we just read Dancing Hands, let's take a few examples from this beautifully written and stunningly illustrated picture book. Fun fact number 1. Colors matter. Let's take a look at 2 illustrations from Dancing Hands. Name the colors you can see on this page. And now, name the colors you can see on this page. Now, let's compare these illustrations. What differences do you notice? Look on the illustration on the left. The colors are vivid with oranges, reds and pinks, while on the illustration on the right, the colors are grayish, black and white. Why do you think the illustrator chose these colors? The vivid colors reveal Teresa's character, her origins, and inspiration from Venezuela, while the use of dark and light colors are a reflection of war and conflict. In other words, when Teresa feels happy, the colors are bright, warm, and vivid. But when she is going through doubt and dark times, the color scheme turns somber. Fun fact number 2. Symbols matter. Rafael López, the talented illustrator of Dancing Hands, has hidden a symbol on almost every page of the book. Have you noticed it? I'll give you a clue. It's a little flying vertebrate with feathers. That's right, a bird. Let's have a look at a few of them. Why do you think Rafael López chose to include a bird on almost every page of the book? Take a look and give me your opinion. What do you think? For my part, I believe that birds in this book symbolize music and freedom. They appear only when Teresa is playing or writing music, but they are absent from the scenes of war. So, to sum up, if you are an aspiring illustrator, focus on colors and symbols to convey the message of your story. Why don't you try after listening to these fun facts? Fun fact number 3. Sounds matter. Just like music notes, words have sounds that can go well together. One of the tools that a writer can use to make the words resonate in your ears or make them pleasant to listen to is the repetition of sounds, a bit like in music. One of these tools is the alliteration. Now, that may sound like a complicated word, but it actually just means that the writer repeats the same consonant at the beginning of several words. This device is used to create the names of famous characters and make them easier to remember, like Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Peppa Pig, or Wonder Woman. You can even find alliterations in famous tongue twisters. What's the alliteration in Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers? Did you find it? It's the P sound. Let's repeat. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Now, see if you can notice the alliteration in this sentence from Dancing Hands. Musicians came to her home playing along while they listened to the dazzling notes of her dancing hands. It's the D sound, the dazzling notes of her dancing hands. Let's take up the challenge a notch. In this sentence, there are 2 alliterations. He closed his eyes, nodded his head, stretched his long fingers, and tapped the tips of his shiny shoes. Did you spot it? First, there's the T, tapped the tips, and then the sh of his shiny shoes. I just love this alliteration, don't you? It's so melodious. Try saying it yourself. And tap the tips of his shiny shoes. There is another tool called consonants. It's almost the same as an alliteration, except with the consonants, the repeated sound doesn't have to be at the beginning of words. The sound repeated can be at the beginning, in the middle, or at the end. For example, Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. The sound ump is repeated in the middle of the word Humpty Dumpty. And the t sound, Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Let's take another example. Mike likes his new bike. The sound Ike is repeated 3 times. Mike likes his new bike. Now see if you can notice the consonants in this sentence from Dancing Hands. Clouds bucked and kicked across the wild sky like angry mules. Can you see it? It's the k sound. Clouds bucked and kicked across the wild sky like angry mules. Let's take another example. At first, making music seemed magical. Now I like this one because it's the sound. Making music seemed magical. One last example to test you. Music swirled, twirled and soared on wings of sound. Now this one's a little bit more tricky. Can you hear it? It's the w sound. Music swirled, twirled and soared on wings of sound. Alliteration and consonants are just 2 of the tools that writer can use to make their stories more powerful and melodious to listen to. Why don't you try, with the help of a grown-up, making a sentence using sound repetition? And we've got time for one more fun fact. Fun fact number 4. Dancing Hands is a biographical story. A biography is a true story about someone's life. Biographies tell about famous people or ordinary people who have done exciting or amazing things. For example, in one of our storytime videos, I read to you the biography of Abraham Lincoln, who also happens to appear in Dancing Hands. When you write a biography, you sometimes have to make choices. First of all, you can't write everything about a person's life because it would take too long and it wouldn't always be interesting. Can you think of one of the choices Margarita Engle made when writing Dancing Hands? What part of Teresa's life does she write about? Dancing Hands focuses on Teresa's childhood and more precisely on the events leading up to her playing for Abraham Lincoln. But that doesn't mean that her life stopped at the age of 10. On the contrary, Teresa went on to lead a truly fascinating life. There are many more things to learn about her. She wasn't just a pianist, she was also an opera singer, a composer, a conductor, and she traveled all around the world from Venezuela to the USA, Spain, France, the United Kingdom, Russia, Australia, New Zealand, and Cuba. Just imagine, when she was alive, that is from 1853 to 1917, people couldn't fly around the world. They still had to travel by boat. Well, we've reached the end of our fun facts, but I can't let you go without one little test to make sure that you've been following. Are you ready? Let's go. Question number 1. Name 2 things that you can use to make an illustration more expressive. Colors and symbols. That's right. Question number 2. Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and Peppa Pig are an example of A. Allegation, B. Mitigation, or C. Alliteration. Which one are you going to choose? That's right, C. Alliteration. Question 3. Making music seemed magical is an example of A. Continents, B. Consonants, or C. Resonance. It's B. Consonants. If you got 3 out of 3, then you're ready to be a mini writer and illustrator. And next time you see a book cover or read a story, try and pay attention to colors and sound repetitions, and this will help you enjoy even more your storytime reading. I hope you enjoyed these fun facts. Don't forget to leave a comment if you have any questions or requests. Take care and see you soon.